naturally you start to close off away from people.
I feel like that's where I'm at too. Like I don't want to be portraying that image on the internet.
And then so I wouldn't want to, because my daughter's gonna grow up one day.
She's gonna see
that's what my dad was like. No, I can't have that, man.
Yeah.
And so I get that. So there's a lot of people that will talk about things and they'll show profanity and etc. And that's good. And yes, it works, because being controversial with Andrew Tate, being controversial helps people, helps build an audience and stuff. And if that's how you want to build your audience, then fine, you do your thing, right?
Yeah.
No one's telling you otherwise. But everyone's an individual, and everyone has their own way of doing things. And me, I had to come out of my comfort zone because my business was dying, right? Before this Instagram, my own personal private one, Priyesh one, didn't have many followers or anything. It was very much my private thing, but my business was suffering because I wasn't showing people what they could possibly do. So I had to come out of my comfort zone. Being a private person, I don't want you to know what I have. I don't want you to know where I live, what cars I drive. I don't want it. I'm very aware that you can become a target very easily.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if all of a sudden I start showing materialistic things that cost money, people are gonna naturally know that you've got money. So you become a target, right?
Yeah.
And it's what a lot of the thieves use Instagram for. Yeah, they can see that.
That's how I got scammed.
Well, it's how a lot of people look at the people. If you own a nice watch or jewelry in London, more than likely, as soon as you put your location down, there'll be people waiting for you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why. And when it comes to posting, I would always post. Yeah, especially if I'm out and about somewhere, either later in that day or the next day, not exactly as I am at that moment for safety. And so that's why everyone is different. And so for me, safety is the most important thing, because again, my business is to do with money. So again, it's also one of the most touchiest subjects for people. So I'd rather be more private than be out there. What I do show on my Instagram is enough to kind of keep you thinking. What I show on Instagram is what I choose for you to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not actually my life. Like, you don't see how much that.
We're ready to go?
Yeah. Just roll. Yeah. What people don't see, they don't see how much time I spend with my family, my dog, or the places that I go. They don't see none of that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's my life. Like, I spend a lot of time studying things, researching, reading. So I will go to Dubai Hills Mall. I would literally take a book. I'd sit there, order some food, and I'd sit there and I'd read. People don't see that. What they will see, okay, Priyesh is driving a supercar.
Yeah.
Or Priyesh is at a beach club. That's because that's what I choose for you to watch.
That's the image that you're selling to them.
Correct.
And but they don't realize that they think that's always the real you.
And that's what it is. Like, have you noticed that a lot of these, we'll use the word influencers, the ones with the biggest followings, a lot of them, have you ever noticed that how comes you never see any of their family, their partner, or anything along the lines of that?
Because it's not relevant towards the sales process.
Yes, exactly. And then, but how can you think that that's how they live every single day on a permanent basis? Is that realistic? That lifestyle is that's how someone lives non-stop?
Well, the world has changed a lot. If you look at Nike, for example, a traditional brand that everyone sort of knows and wears, they are the brand. So whatever they put out there is what people believe. But now you've got personal brands, and those personal brands are pretty much just like Nike, but they're human beings.
Yeah, powerful.
Powerful, right? So in order for you to become a brand and sell things on the internet, you need to really deeply understand the psychology of another human being and understand what makes them tick, what makes them buy, what makes them not buy. And that only happens by trialing different things. At the very beginning, the life of an influencer is trying different pieces of content just to see what sticks on the barbecue.
And what sticks is what you go for.
And once it sticks, you scale the fuck out of it. And that's how it works.
But I find it very difficult so when I had to transition from showing more of my personal life, like the nicer things, I find it very difficult and I still find it difficult to even post certain things. So there's certain images that I would have on my phone that my team would say, okay, cool, Priyesh, you got to post this, yeah? Or they will be ready to post it. They will show me first, right? And I'll say, no, we can't post that or something. I still find it very difficult to showcase.
Why?
Because number one, I feel like as a private person, I just want to keep certain things. These are achievements for me. right? I've worked very hard in my life, worked very smart, and I've come a long way. And so if I'm going to go to a shop to, let's say, buy a watch,
Yeah.
that's my personal achievement. I don't need to show you my personal achievement.
But here's where I'll question you, right? I believe that people that don't share their life like we do now, because you do share your life, right? You're a public figure now, are selfish people and are the most egocentrical people.
The ones that don't.
Yeah. Because number one, they're so scared of the judgment of strangers. Who the fuck cares about what a stranger thinks of you, right? When you show your life, like the life that we have and what we managed to build, you're inspiring other people. You're helping other people. Dude, the amount of messages that I get from people that look at the content or YouTube or things like that, like, dude, like, you really inspired me. I was in a dark place. Now I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. Like, that is life-changing to people. So when you start thinking me, I don't want to do this because of me, it's selfish. The most selfless people, the most selfless people that I know are the ones that share everything. Everything.
So let me turn that around to you.
Yeah.
So let's say now, so when I started posting more stuff about the cars that I drive, one of the first things was, especially where I live, not here in Dubai, in another country, was people that live in the same country messaged me saying that, Priyesh, are you sure you want to post that? Or Priyesh, be careful you're posting that. So straight away, I had a handful of people that know me question, Priyesh, why are you all of a sudden posting like this? Because of the safety element. Because now I'm going to put an instant target on my back.
But what are they doing with their life?
No, I don't think it's what they're doing. They're just looking out for me, as in like, Priyesh, look, we get it. Everyone gets social media and why people have to show certain things, why they have to show certain things, right? Especially in a business like mine to do with money, you kind of need to show a little bit of the money and how you spend the money. Yeah, I get the lifestyle, but it's the putting a target on your back.
Okay, who's putting that target on your back? Is that are you really putting a target on your back, or are you thinking that you're putting yourself a target on the back?
So if now, let's say I post like I've just gone to pick up a watch or gone to pick up a bracelet. Yeah. And I'm now filming, I'm at the airport, I'm on the way to London. And let's say I actually get robbed. How do you think I'm going to feel, number one? How do you think I'm going to behave? Yeah. Moving forward.
Well, first and foremost, why would you do that? I mean, you already know that London is a very dangerous place. So announcing that you're going to London and that you just bought a thing and you going to London is actually quite stupid.
But you just said you got to be out there. You can't be selfish. Post what you're doing, where you're going, etc. So then,
but like that's a very minuscule detail. Like if you really get really detailed, I just bought this Rolex, right? And I'm going to London. That's a very sort of, it's like, I don't know. Like it depends on your brand too. Like this is what I'm trying to say, right? I would not post that. I'll post me spending money on a watch, but I would not post, I bought this watch and I'm going to London in 12 hours. Like logically speaking, that makes no sense for any human to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I feel like you have to just know your boundaries, and some things are like, they make sense. Some things don't make sense to post. So you have to know what you stand for as well.
And I also think that it's also knowing your audience in the sense that when you post, you don't post to belittle them.
Yes.
To show that you are inferior to me.
Yeah.
But more of inspirational, like, guys, if you just do this, or take my course, or follow in the footsteps, or read this and study this, maybe you can also do something like that. So there's that balance that you got to understand, that fine line between I guess putting it throwing it in people's faces, rudely, because there's a way of doing it with
subconscious. Pay attention. So you have Nike, they endorse Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo wears Nike boots. Every time they come out, they sell out because he wears them. Okay, people don't buy from those that they like and trust. They buy from those that they subconsciously admire. If you look at Ronaldo, he's not rubbing the shoe in your face. He's wearing them. Subtle marketing. Michael Jordan, subtle marketing. Hey, Jordan, let's do a deal and we're going to name these shoes the Jordan Airs, whatever. Subtle, right? Whenever you're doing marketing at scale and you're rubbing it on people's face, of course it's going to come off the wrong way, right? But when you do it in a way that is subtle, that only a certain percentage of the brain can pick up on the back end, that's when you really make fuck you money.
Yeah. That makes sense.
If you look at someone like that's really relevant in today's age, Tate, for example, he went really viral, but not for the right reasons, in my opinion. But then you've got someone like Iman Gadzhi. Very James Bond. Iman Gadzhi is the most calculated human being in the entire...
Very strategic, right?
Very strategic. His stories, for example, yesterday he posted a story with 3 black Amexes, right? That's very high status, but he's not posting anything else besides the photo on the story. and then he's showing private jets, and then he's showing things like this. But it's very James Bond like. It's something that James Bond would do, right? So he's subconsciously saying to you as a consumer, look at me, I'm young, I'm rich, I am a gentleman. I don't really talk about money up front, but I do it in a way where you look at me and you want to be like me. That's Iman Gadzhi's brand. Yeah. But you won't understand until you actually pay attention. And if you pay further attention, Iman Gadzhi does not give anything away. He does not talk about his tragedy. He does not talk about him doing low ticket to mass market. He does not talk about how he's built a huge brand and now he's selling all these different products on the back end. He has to be one of the smartest people in the influencer space by far. In my opinion, more intelligent than Jake Paul and Logan Paul at scale. He's done bigger things, more money in my opinion than them. Like for the short, like where he's at in terms of his age. If you ask me, I think Iman's more successful than Tate. Tate's like 40, gonna be 40. Iman's 23, 24, right? He's young.
And
but
very
he's
successful.
Think about, like, just look at his brand. Just, he's a silent assassin.
But I like your analogy, he's the James Bond because he is like that.
Yeah.
He dresses clean.
Yeah.
And
he's got the clean
calm.
old school music. He talks
it's
calm.
very, very good.
He takes his time.
Yeah.
He's very polished.
Yeah.
Like emotionally intelligent, far beyond his years.
Yeah.
Far beyond his years.
And whereas someone like Andrew Tate, who obviously came into the scene very controversial, by the way, it was planned. It was very much planned how he done everything, how all of a sudden he came from nowhere to somewhere. So that was all planned, and we're very aware of.
But even
of
Tate, like for years, if you look at, he was doing content for years. But then he understood, well, I have a bit of an audience. I'm going to give them a certain percentage of all my sales through affiliates, and they scale the content. And he understood, if I go really left on my opinion and go really against the feminists, the liberals, all these people, I'm going to go viral.
It was very clever. So but basically, one of the things that especially for the audience that are not aware. So yes, he would pay people to push stuff. So everybody will make their own TikTok. Yeah. Their own TikTok account. He would be in an interview setting like this, be very controversial, post it to just that audience, and now they have to chop it all up and turn it into little reels, etc., etc. And because it was so controversial and people were posting it at random times, various times, and then if they brought someone, they would get a kickback. If they brought someone, they would get a kickback. And all of a sudden, he's got a mountain worth of people dissecting and chopping up an interview, then another interview, then another interview, and then boom, just like that. Who is Andrew Tate? Why is it so controversial? Why is it like this? That was an absolute genius move. You know what he did.
He's not scared of speaking his mind, and I think that now we live in a digital age where everyone is sort of too cautious of what they're saying because they're scared of being cancelled.
But this is a great example actually when we're talking about when I was saying that I find it very difficult to step out of my private zone to make it more public. A good example is someone like Andrew Tate, who went so public, talking about anything and everything, that there was a target on his back.
And he went to jail.
And then so...
but if you look at Gadzhi, again, I'm going to keep reference back to you guys need to understand because no one's really talking about his strategy, what he's doing. Gadzhi looked at that and he said, I'm not going to go down the affiliate route. I'm going to hire my own people. So all the content that goes out in the marketplace for Gadzhi, it's controlled by his team. And then it naturally grows because it's good content. So then people pick it up and reshare it, right? Have you been on Instagram and there's like Laura Piana and all these really exclusive, like, you know, brands that no one's ever heard about, but he wears? That's because people started paying attention. And he's built and controlled what goes out there. Tate didn't control it. He didn't give a fuck. He's like, let's go all out.
Yeah.
Boom.
But I think one of Tate's mistakes was he got so big so fast that if your aim was to make money, which a lot of people do in business, the aim is to make money. He made a lot through his Hustlers University,
and he still made a lot. He's made like 100. I think from what I've heard from people, it's like $120 million a year.
Yeah, so he's done a lot, and then if you've made a lot of money and you can then scale back, you can either stop or you can maybe become less controversial or maybe just go away for a little bit. But I think that the power got to him because he had there was armies. What's that? Top G. I mean, armies.
Army of people defending him.
And it was because what he was saying was Marmite. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it, and he had at one point like the female audience totally against him. And it was nuts. And then schools started banning his name and banning him and stuff. So he done everything that he wanted to do, but it got a little bit cult-like. And then so that's I think that he wanted that. He realized he had power. to really influence
Yeah.
someone's thinking and a whole generation of people's thinking.
How big do you want to win? And I think Tate strikes me as someone who wants to win everything, and there's no limits to his brain. Like truly, like people say, I want to make 50 million. They say that, but they're not willing to do what it takes to win it. And he's delusional in a good way. Like he really wanted to go all out, and you have to put your hat off to that. Yeah. There's respect to that. There's a lot of things that he says that I agree with. There's obviously, you know, certain things that I don't agree with, just like anybody else.
Same.
But I respect him.
Yeah. No, I respect the guy. Again, a lot of his methods, a lot of his sayings, I don't agree with.
Yeah.
A lot of it can become very hypocritical. Because if you know that the man behind the brand, you know what he's saying is just saying for show, where that's not exactly what he's like. But then there are certain things that he does when he tries to school people about money, politics and stuff. I agree with because I'm very aware of that.
You know what we're missing? I was thinking this morning, we're missing someone that would be able to mitigate the scams that happen on the online space. Like there's a lot of scams that take place, as you know,
A lot.
So many. Like imagine if there could be like a centralized place where we could actually control and vet people properly, because Trustpilot, Google, all this sort of stuff is controlled, man. Like I run a PR agency, man. Like I've got people in the info product space coming to me. We get, you know, sometimes YouTube videos deleted, just multiple ranges of services that you've never heard of, that you don't even know that they exist, right? Like all these reviews are pretty much controlled. So how does the consumer know where to trust? You know, I got scammed this morning. Right? And I am extremely deep in the social media world. Like I know a lot of people that provide a lot of really exclusive and weird services that, again, people don't know about, and I got done. So how can an everyday consumer feel safe when they're transacting in crypto on the internet? Like, dude, it's a big fucking concern.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you.
There has to be a way. There has to be a way.
Well, if anyone can think of a way, then bring it to the table.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
Bring it to the table. But it's. And you've got to look at it like scamming is a business. It's a business, right?
Yeah.
And while there's a business, there's opportunists, there'll always be ways for people to try and take money off other people.
It's a business, but God's always watching.
Oh, look, I'm a strong believer when what goes around comes around karma, right? And
God's
so
always watching.
We've been victims of scams. My business, I have tried my best to try and stop frauds in my industry, but unfortunately it's not even, that's not even the biggest problem. The biggest problem is even I can say to you, Jules, this person is a scammer. The audience, they don't want to believe it because now I'm bursting their bubble, their dream.
Yeah.
So they're still going to go to them. You know, still going to go to them. So, and then it makes you think that what's the point? Why do I bother? Now I still do it because I mean it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You should help people and you should open up their eyes to the type of person that this person is, right? So I still believe that's the right thing to do. But it is very frustrating when people don't listen or don't pay attention because you're not experienced. You're going because this guy's giving you the Lamborghini dream that you're just getting sucked into it and you're just going for it, not realizing this person is not who they say they are.
I want to uncover the truth of the online space because I see it. I manufacture credibility and trust on the internet. I know what all of these guys do, how to get you to buy, right? So everyone on the internet will sell you a 1% result. People need to be aware of that, okay? And ultimately, whether the program is good or bad, it's your responsibility as a human being that's making the conscious decision of making the purchase of the program, course, coaching, whatever, that you put in the work to make it work. Because you and I know this, right? Most programs, they have solid information, dude. So if the human being applies that information, then obviously there will be a result. And if they apply it and there's no result, then there should be a refund. Simple, right? But all of these people you see on the internet running paid traffic, running ads on the internet that you think, oh my God, here we go, another ad on YouTube. They know what they're doing. They're selling you a 1% dream, okay? Because let's be real, the people that actually succeed with these courses are part of the 1%. You cannot succeed in the online business if you don't have 1% skills.
Yes.
And 1% skills are simple. Number one is being able to read the play. This is something that people don't talk about. It's got nothing to do with sales. It's about having a high level of emotional intelligence, and it's about having a weird, disproportionate amount of self-belief. If you don't have self-belief, nothing will happen. You know, I can give you literally like, you know, the keys to the castle, but it's up to you to move the stuff and put it in there.
Facts.
That's it. You know, they sell the 1%. So as long as you know that coming onto the game, that you have to put in the work and it's your responsibility, and you have those 3 components that I spoke about, things will work. But not everyone's cut out for this game, dude.
So I got a So when we spoke before offline, a few days back, and then obviously one of the biggest impacts in my business was the scammers. They have basically taken all the business, and whereas an educational platform like myself find it very difficult to get business purely because these people sell them the Lamborghini lifestyle, which is not going to be realistic. But they don't want to. When you use words like education, that it will take time. They don't want to go, so they'd rather go to that. And then you said something really important to me that really resonated with me as well. That Priyesh, stop focusing too much on the scammers and what you can't control, because I can't control that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Even I can say they're a scammer, that people are still going to go to them. So how would you say that I navigate away from them to doing what we do? What would you say?
I'll give you an analogy, right? So if you want to lose weight, right? And I start saying to you that, you know, it's going to take 18 weeks, that you're going to have to cut out all carbs, that you have to be at a calorie surplus of 1,500 per day, and it's going to be miserable, you're probably going to be like, well, fuck that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be miserable. Not worth my time. But if I said to you, hey, listen, I'm going to show you exactly how you can lose weight over the next 6 weeks, eating pizza and eating the food that you actually like, without restricting.
You're going to go for that?
Without restricting calories, without counting anything, just focusing on one simple 3-step formula that we worked out 24 months of study. Would you take me up on that offer? Like, that's very different. Because I am selling what you want, and on the back end, I'm giving you what you need. Because the most important thing, it's you coming to me. It's not how I get you there. This is the problem that most people have with their business. They get so caught up on being ethical on the front end. Listen, guys, it's not so much about being ethical on the front end. It's about being ethical on the back end, where you actually give them the results and what they need, right?
So you're saying basically do what you need to do to get them through the door.
Yeah.
And then once they're in the door, then you be ethical, and then you be...
Yeah. So if I said to you, like, hey, listen, we're going to go to Ibiza, but if I told you that you're going to have to catch a plane, pack your bags, organize the passport for your dogs, put the kids on the plane, you know, you're probably going to go on economy, it starts sounding very, very shitty, right? But if I said to you, dude, I've got everything sorted, your bags are already packed, come to Ibiza, I've got the hotel booked, we're going to party for 3 days straight, I've got people there, it's going to be great, it's going to be full of entrepreneurs. Are you in?
I'm in.
Why?
Ease, less work, and convenience.
That's exactly what marketers do. And that's what you should be doing. What's the easiest, fastest path to success? Once they're in it, give them the truth.
So do what you got to do to get them through the door. And then
It's
once they're
not
in the
your,
door...
it's not your job to give them the step-by-step process. Your job is to say, hey, listen, I've got a great product that can help you. This is the 1% result. If you believe in yourself, this is also what you could do. I can't guarantee it though. But if you follow the step-by-step process that I've laid out here, that another 1,000 students have done, you'll get results.
So like what we do on our social media, we showcase the wins.
Yeah.
We showcase what is possible.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot abundance of my lifestyle on there. So in terms of our social content, we're showing you everything that you can do to achieve this.
Yeah.
And regardless of my thoughts on how much of my life I'm showing, still gotta show it, right?
Well, can you imagine how many people would go to Harvard University or any type of university and never really get that job that they wanted? Or they would never really get that salary that they hoped? Most people get into university to make money, but you're getting into university to make employee money, not life-changing money. So how does that make any sense?
It doesn't.
There's no really any real guarantee of a job.
It's true.
That sounds really risky to me, dude.
But this is university, right? University. Look, it's a turn the page exercise, tick book. You know, a lot of people just have to tick off university because they did it. A lot of people go to get a degree, but they don't even get a degree in what they've studied for.
What is more risky? Staying a loser or becoming a winner?
What's more risky?
Yeah, what's more risky?
I'd hate to live a bog standard life, the typical 9 to 5. Not saying that's very bad for any of you guys who live that way. That's just not how I want to live, right? And for me, if I don't take risks, I've failed.
Yeah.
You know?
Why have you failed?
Because I haven't even tried.
What do you mean by that?
I got to try, right? If I want to do something different, I have to do something different. I can't expect something different if I do nothing different, right?
So let me ask you a question. Like, how much do you think it would cost you if you don't change the front-end marketing that you have currently for your business? How much money would that be costing you every single month, every single year?
A lot.
Yeah?
A ton of money.
Yeah. And
Because I'm throwing money off the table.
Yeah. how would that cost you personally though, besides the business?
Personally, what I don't like is that I have been very used to earning myself to live myself. But it's gotten to a stage where I've said in 2024, I've said to my team that, my God, I got to take money out of the business myself. We can't have a business that is not profitable, that doesn't turn over substantial revenue, that I can't take net money off the table, right? I have to. And what's the point of having a business?
That's right. You bought yourself a job.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I want to take money off the business. And so now when you ask me that question, personally, now it affects me because now I'm trying really hard to make sure that this business is growing without having to put my own money into the business.
Yeah. And I guess on the flip side of that though, if like you don't do anything about it,
nothing's going to change.
Nothing's going to change.
Nothing's going to change. But I'm not the type of person to sit back and allow my business to crumble or for me not to do anything when it's in my power.
Stop. Everyone here that's listening to that, pay attention to that. I just put him on a sales process right there. And people always forget about that. I was asking you the right questions and then you sold yourself into the idea of doing this thing. How much is it costing me? Oh, it's costing me this much. And you started selling yourself onto the process of wanting to change and change everything based on the questions that I was asking you.
Amazing.
Right? That's really important. People don't ask enough questions.
Yes.
People are not curious enough.
So a lot of people want results from seeing a picture or a video. How do you convince them that we are the right people, that you need to be with us? If you want to succeed, you need to be with us. Here's the results. You can see all the results. You can see the reviews. You can see how much students make, not how much I make. Everyone gets that. How much students make, right? Yeah. What they make. You can see the lifestyle, what it can give you. You can see the holidays that all the students go on, yeah? And then so that's all there. But what more can I do to convince you to come to us?
That's a great question.
Because we hold the key.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is like this. We have the product, but we don't have the people. The fraudsters have the people, they don't have the product. How do we get the people, to us? Because we have that golden key. Yeah. The proof is in the pudding. We help everybody. We are very transparent. Yeah. And we are the best of the best. My company, I know by far, is elite tier. Elite tier. Not professional tier, not high tier, elite tier. I need everyone else to see that. And you got to come to us because when you're in the door, when you're in Peer Effects, ask all the people. They will realize, this is next level.
Give them the pizza, don't give them the broccoli.
Give them pizza, don't give them the broccoli.
That's how simple it is. You're giving them the broccoli right now. You're saying, dude, it's going to be difficult, but we have the best results. I don't care about your results. I want it to be easy. And then you're going to say to me, well, I don't know how I feel about that, Jules, because once they're in it, they will realize that it's not that easy. But that's like anything in life, bro. Do you know, it wasn't easy to learn how to walk as a kid, but yet you figured it out.
Yep. I use all these analogies. Yep,
you know?
Sure. Yeah. Didn't learn how to swim first time round. You got to learn, right?
You didn't learn how to do this podcast, and now we're here talking on this podcast, and you just...
To be fair, this just kind of happened, didn't it?
Yeah.
This just happened. I came in with another trade. I wanted to have conversations with people, and then it just kind of just formed. Yeah. And then we had conversations like, I'm just going to bring more people that I feel are going to be interesting to have conversations, and here we are. I never thought in a million years that I would even do this.
There you go. So give them the pizza, dude. Don't give them the fucking broccoli, bro. Like, you're killing the customers by giving them the broccoli. Give them the pizza. Give them what they want. And then on the back end, if they've got what it takes, they'll know what they need to do. Because you have a good program. Simple.
Makes sense.
Easy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, now I probably need to start. I'm going to look at the camera, and we're going to keep all this. Yeah. And this is all going to be part of it as well.
Yeah.
And we're going to... All right, guys, welcome to Memoirs of a Trader podcast. I am Priyesh and Giuliano, your host, as usual. Please do the usual stuff. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share it to your friends and family. And today I've got another very, very special guest. I only bring the best guests on this podcast, as you know. I hope you guys are enjoying all these episodes. And so today... I'm going to introduce, I'm going to say it in a certain way because this was filmed in a certain way. So I'm going to say it in a certain way. Listen to this, yeah? This is going to sound very exotic.
Please go.
Yeah. Giuliano Gonzalez. Giuliano Gonzalez, please introduce yourself.
Oh my God. Thank you for having me, bro. I appreciate that.
All right, brother. Just let everyone know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Giuliano Gonzalez. I run a PR company, a media company. It's called DXB Publicity, based in Dubai. We service, over 775 different publications in the entire world, from the US, all over. We work with, entrepreneurs, businesses, all that sort of stuff. And I also run one of the fastest growing weekly networking events here in Dubai, which is called the XP Network. I grew that to 700 members in like 2 weeks, which is insane, right? And yeah, that's what I do.
So we're gonna ask you a little bit about how you done that in a minute.
Yeah.
But I want to know a little bit about your background. Where do you come from? What brings you here to Dubai?
Yeah. I'll give the short summary because I feel like the people listening, it's good, right? But it's not that juicy. So I was born in Chile, and I left Chile when I was 13, turning 14, then immigrated to Australia, right? Throughout my young years, I knew that I always wanted to start my own business. Always knew it. I saw my grandpa working, my grandma working. I saw everyone in my family just hustling and working. So to me, it was ingrained to work hard from the get-go. I hated having a boss. I would always be in fights with my boss. And how I ended up here was one day, I was working in real estate from 20 to like 23, 24, right? And I quit. And I went back to my parents' house. I literally gave up my lease and everything. I left house when I was 18. I said to Mom, listen, I don't know how, but I'm going to make this online thing work. And I need you to promise me something. Don't, please, for the love of God, don't let me go back to a job because I will kill myself. I'm dead serious. I told my mom, if I go back to a job, I will kill myself, Mom. I can't do it. So she backed me up. She gave me a room in her house. And, the second day that I was there, I was like, man, I got to make this online thing work. And I didn't have money. Like I literally, dude, I was 24. I probably had like $2,000 in my bank account. No money, right? I was a big dreamer, had big dreams, had big visions. I just didn't know how to accomplish them. And I felt very frustrated. So then I remember looking at different ads on Facebook and YouTube. And I'm like, oh, these people are running so many paid ads on they must have money. So then I called my buddy, Justin. I'm like, hey, listen, man, let's go for dinner. And then I go, why don't we start a podcast, man? We're going to call it Millennial Success. And we're going to interview people that make money online. We're going to learn from them. We're going to build a network. And it's going to be great. And during that time, that's when COVID hit. So everyone went online. So everyone was at home. So I'm like, perfect. And I started reaching out to all of these different people that were running paid traffic on the internet. Iman Gadzhi, we got Iman Gadzhi on the podcast 3 years ago. Like, big people that are running a lot of paid traffic that are very well known now. And I got 50 episodes in 30 days, right? And I was just outbounding on Instagram. I was not verified. I had less than 10,000 followers, right? And then I started that. The first month, right, I did about $5,000 USD. The second month, 7. And I was doing 7 reoccurring for like a year, right? And what I was doing is everyone was coming to my podcast. I would say to them at the end of the podcast, I'd be like, hey, listen, do you have a podcast? And they'd be like, no. I'd be like, oh, cool. Like I can build you one and then manage it for you. They're like, yeah, great. Because it was COVID. Like everyone was at home.
Of course.
Everyone wanted to push out content. And then I thought, cool. Well, it's, I'll do this for $1,000. They're like, what? Yeah. Sold. And I did that for about 12 months. And then a guy reached out to me on Instagram and he's like, hey, I can get you featured on these publications. And I was like, yeah, whatever. It's going to give me credibility. And I just paid. I paid like $3,000 to a random guy on Instagram to get me featured on the press. And he helped me get one client. But then I got really curious. I'm like, I'm stuck at $7,000 a month with this business, right? And I feel stagnant. I really want to scale. So I messaged this guy. I'm like, hey, if I pay you $1,000 extra on top of the 3 and you show me how to do this PR agency, like, do you reckon I can work with you? He goes, yeah. Showed me a couple of the things. And I didn't have access to like the stuff that I have access now. Like the access that I have now, it's
different level.
And I grabbed those contacts that like I was buying through him, right? So he was my middleman, quote unquote. And the second week I made $15,000. Like I never made $15,000 in like 2 weeks. Then I made 27 and 37, then like 50, 75, then $100,000. And I'm like, shit, that's crazy. I went from all of that really quickly. It felt like super quick to me, to then flying to LA and building all this relationship with big media companies. And then that's, I guess, how I am here today. Like, I run one of the biggest distribution PR medias in the world, not traditional digital PR agency. And I love it because I get to meet cool entrepreneurs. I get to help people and, help people put the message out there.
That's nice. And it's nice that you said that you reached out to someone for your own publication.
Yeah.
And then you paid them a little bit more money to learn from them. And then you did, and you started from there.
I could smell it. I'm like, this guy's like, I was like, and it's always, people need to understand this. Like when you believe in yourself, you have this itch of making things work no matter what.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, dude, he's not better than me. And it's going to sound arrogant to people. I don't care. Like I thought I'm better than this guy. I can run a better process. I've got background, selling multi-million-dollar homes, and dealing with proper rich people that have $20 million, $50 million apartments. I know how to manage a process. I know how to keep clients updated. I can run this show, and I did it. That's it.
So take me back to when you wanted to become a professional football player.
Yeah. I mean, I was training football since I was like 7. My dad has a very big influence on me. He's a great man. I love my dad. He's very responsible. He's given me all the traits that I have today. And sports taught me how to be focused on one thing for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to England when I was 16. I tried things, but things didn't work out my way. And I took it like a man. And I thought, well, if I'm not going to make money out of this thing, I'm going to start my own business. So I've always been thinking about money. How do I become, financially stable? But yeah, I feel like football was a short-lived dream for me.
Why? What happened? Why did it become a short-lived dream? Firstly, what football team do you support?
Depends which country.
Well,
Don't say England.
Go on, England.
I don't really have anyone in, but I like Liverpool lately.
Listen,
Sorry.
all right, podcast done. Forget about it. Close. Done. Liverpool.
Just because Salah, I love Salah.
No, that's it.
Who do you go for?
Me, I'm a United fan, Man United.
Oh my God, I was just about to
And so-
say United.
Just yesterday. So just yesterday we played Liverpool United, and so we should have beaten Liverpool, but
Yeah,
then obviously course the
well-
referee gave you a little dive penalty, and then that's it. We ended up
There it is.
2-2.
The best always wins.
So tell me, so what happened with the football? You said it was a short-lived dream, and so you went to England, and then what?
I was 3 months there, then came back. I got injured. I got a massive injury here. My arm got broken in 2 pieces. When my arm got broken in 2 pieces, I became scared of playing again. People would push me around. I was a very aggressive player on the field, and I couldn't do the same things that I was doing. It would hurt my arm and things like that. And man, I wanted to make money, and I didn't see football giving me the money that I wanted. And I was a realist. I'm like, dude, I don't have what it takes to be the 1% in football. I'm okay with that. I'm going to be the 1% somewhere else.
It's important that you said that you're a realist.
Yeah.
A lot of people start something and they get sucked into something thinking they're going to be the best at something, but they stay at it year in, year out. So when I was younger and I was in the music business, there was a lot of people in the music business at the same time as me, a lot of my friendship group. A lot of them are still trying to have that same dream right now. We're coming close to being 40 years old, and a lot of them are still having that. Whereas obviously I left the music industry at 25, and my life totally excelled, right? And a lot of them are in the exact same place, trying to make it in the music industry because they can't give up on that hope or that one dream, And it's nice and it's refreshing to hear another person that realize, you know what, this ain't for me. Yeah,
I'm not good enough.
You need to earn. In life, you need to earn to be able to do A, B, and C, and then you left that and you went to go and do something else. And even though a lot of people would have told you, don't give up football.
So many people do.
Of course,
Dude, you're so good. Why are you giving up?
Of course.
Because they have their stupid little fucking opinions, and they don't know my life. They don't know the pain that I've gotten through. They don't know the training, the sacrifices that we had to make to get.
It's easy to say.
Yeah, it's easy to say.
Easy to say. So then, obviously, from your football career, you moved into real estate.
Yeah.
So was real estate the one where you thought that's my golden ticket?
Dude, 100%. My friend's like, dude, I've got a friend that drives a Lambo. Let's do it. And I didn't make any money in real estate for 3 years. Like, okayish money. But I learned the skill of sales and psychology and talking to rich people. Talking to a rich person. I'm talking like people that own like $50 million homes, 20 million. Like, you have to be very wealthy to earn that type of real estate, right? They think differently.
Absolutely.
And if they see a young kid that's not sharp, someone that doesn't match them at the same frequency, they're going to eat you alive. Because I had to give recommendations based on what they should do, how they should sell. Like, should we change the price? Dude, imagine trying to change the price on a very expensive property for a rich person. Dude, you're going on to battle with someone that's done negotiations for millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
So, all right? So you need to be able to communicate effectively, and not just communicate effectively, but communicate in a way that you demand respect, that people listen to you.
What did you learn from these individuals? There's in my training course, in my lesson 4, I have a section called the millionaire's mindset, where I try to talk to students about why they think differently. What is it that separates the normal people from that 1%? So what did you learn dealing with so many high net worth individuals from them? What did you learn that other people can take away?
They're ruthless and they're insecure.
Ruthless and insecure. Let me write that down.
They're ruthless and insecure. Rich people are the easiest people to control. They have huge egos. Huge egos. I'm able to get into any room and just control the room, even if they have more money than me. Because here's the thing. Rich people think that their wealth gives them respect. But it's the principle, it's the attitude, it's the perceived social status that actually makes you more credible than everybody else. That's why when I came to Dubai, I saw everyone having money. Money's not special here.
No.
Influence and attention is special. So when you can bring people together, when people come to you, you have leverage.
Well, I think, especially in Dubai, that a lot of people act like they've got money.
Yeah.
Because it's a show.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like when you walk into a high-end restaurant, you naturally are going to dress up before you attend that high-end restaurant. You're not going to go in tracksuit bottoms, are you? Yeah. And then so you already have that perception that everyone is going to be wealthy, but actually everyone has probably done the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Have only dressed up because it's a nice restaurant.
Correct.
Right. So I think a lot of people just they're not really as wealthy as they may make out. Right. So
Let me say something to you. And this is going to sound maybe controversial, but how the fuck did Hitler did what he did? How was that possible? You know, to me, one of the worst people in the entire human history, right? What he's done was horrible. But how did he move? How did he get people to believe in him?
influence.
Influence, social status. It's his aura. It's the way that he spoke. It's the way that he looked at you, right? It's something that you can potentially not explain, right? There's certain people in life, when you meet and you look at them in the eye and you can't explain what's about them. But that's all manufactured. That's what you have to understand.
True.
That's all manufactured. What he's done to build this guy so people follow him, that was manufactured in his brain. It happened in his brain before he actually became reality.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So then take me now to, you took a career break at 23 to travel, to realign your purpose.
Yeah.
So what was it about from that real estate where you left and then you realized maybe this one isn't for me? I thought this was my golden ticket, but it's not. Let me go away for a little while. Let me just focus on myself. Talk to us about this.
I fucked around during the period. I went back to South America and I wasted my time getting drunk, having fun, being young. I broke up with my partner, and you know that really actually marked me because that was the first time that I experienced proper betrayal as well in my life. I think my partner at that stage was dating someone behind my back.
Oh no!
And as a man to feel that was big pain, and I needed that. Right, I needed that. I remember coming back from that trip and wanting to maybe rekindle with my partner at that stage. I was young, 23, and I remember her texting me and saying, "I'm sorry, I moved on with someone else after 3 months, after a 2-year relationship." And I remember crying on the car next to my dad. And then my dad looked at me and he said, "Good, feel it, so you can never do that again." Because I was sporadic about it. I broke up with her. I didn't think about it, and I just left. And for you to come back and think that you can just rekindle things because you are you and you're special, it's selfish. And that's when my journey of self-development really started going. And, you know, I've grown a lot ever since, a lot. I've paid a lot of psychologists, a lot of therapists to help me understand the brain. Because, you know, when you get sick, you go to the hospital. When you break your arm, you go and get an operation. But whenever you have doubts about your brain, about your thoughts, about your needs as a human being, you start doubting yourself. Well, should I go to a psychologist? Am I crazy if I go to a psychologist? Going to a psychologist was like the healthiest thing I've ever done in my entire life. It changed my life.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so healthy to go. So how important is self-development?
It's everything. Your level of self-development will never surpass the level of success.
I don't think a lot of people quite understand. I talk about self-development a lot. It's something that I do constantly do. Also want to learn. Also want to better myself as an individual, as a leader for my team, as a husband, as a father. Yeah. Why do I deserve to have the pleasure of my amazing dog? Right. So
I love your dog. I love your dog. I want to steal your dog.
He'll never leave me. Don Pacho, shout out Don Pacho. And then so why am I worthy for all these amazing things, right? And so I do a lot of reflection, a lot of reflective work, a lot of writing down and developing, because I like to learn, right? And so I'm a strong believer in self-development. It's so important. And when I speak to very successful people, it's something that always crops up. How much time they spend on themselves to become a better version of themselves, right? And then so if you're someone watching this and you don't self-develop yourself as an individual, because even as men think they are it. They think they're it, just like women. A lot of women think they're it, right? I'm a 10 out of 10. But who told you that? Men think I am this, I am super successful. But who told you that? What defines success, right? And if you're watching this and you're not self-developing, you're going to be staying stagnant in one place. I remember when we were younger, people would say, Priyesh, you've changed. You've changed. You're not coming out with us anymore. Priyesh, you've changed. You know what? Good. That's growth. If you haven't changed, there's the problem.
Yeah.
There's the problem. If you haven't changed, you must change. You must adapt. And so I agree. Self-development is a huge thing.
It's a key to everything, you know. And the more you self-develop, you need to understand that the more people you lose in your life, and that's okay, you know, because people cannot they cannot meet you at the same level intellectually.
Of course.
Like, how can I have a conversation with someone? How can I be really friends and close friends with someone who doesn't believe in entrepreneurship, who doesn't have a business? A lot of people actually judge me for this, right? I have no friends that are not into business, zero. And I'm pretty sure I've heard Alex and Musi talk about this, right? What am I going to talk about with them, dude? Like, well, yeah, like I went surfing, and that was, the fuck am I going to talk with you, man? Like, I have nothing to share. Every time I hang out with my business friends, we're talking about business, we're talking about growth, we're talking about a book, like we're talking about growing. Those are my people, dude. That's my tribe. What am I going to talk about? Like going cycling and shit like that.
Do you know, shout out to MKO. We had MKO on this podcast, and actually the title of that actual podcast is I Had to Drop Friends and Family Out of My Life. Because as you develop your mindset, as you grow as an individual, you will start to go in a totally different direction from a lot of the people around you. Yeah, like a lot of the people who you've grown up with. And I look at my own friend circle, and as I was growing up, we had our little WhatsApp group with a bunch of our friends and stuff that is basically non-existent now. Because there is nothing that we talk about that any of us can relate to, whereas they all live a certain way and I just live a totally different way, and I cannot relate.
People don't understand this. You get what you tolerate in life. You get what you tolerate, you know? So if your friends are getting drunk and you're allowing a sleep up, I want to have a little drink here and there. Dude, I've got people in my life that I really love and appreciate, but they use drugs, and I don't really engage with them. If they call me, I'll say, hey, how are you? I want to open up. I just won't. Because someone who's doing that sort of stuff is unpredictable. A man that cannot control his impulses, it's not a man that I want in my life. It's unpredictable. How can I be friends with someone that's unpredictable? Especially close friends. Extremely difficult.
Oh yeah, but that's why I don't have many. I have acquaintances.
Yeah.
I don't have many friends.
Yeah.
Friends that I'm actually going to sit down. You can be invited to my home to sit down with my family. That's very rare.
Yeah. I had someone that snapped at me 2 days ago, right? And they said to me something along the lines like, they called me different names. They're like, oh, now you're in Dubai, you're doing these things. Don't ever talk to me again. I looked at it, I smiled, I blocked.
Why?
I didn't.
That?
But I didn't think about it 2 times. Because this person wanted me to look at something on an urgent manner, and I'm busy, I'm doing things, I'll look at it on the weekend. They snapped at me. And, you know, they come back and apologize and whatnot, and, you know, they're in my life. But I think when you're a sporadic character, you have to be very careful with those people because they're emotional and because they're unpredictable, right? And when someone's unpredictable and emotional, they act based on instinct.
Yes, and impulse.
And impulse.
Yes.
Right? It's the reason, for example, like, have you heard of people, like, for example, that kill people and they're like, oh, I'm not a killer, but I randomly kill someone.
Yeah, it was that moment of madness.
That moment of madness. You know, you need to have anger as a member. You need to be able to control that anger.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You need to be able to put it in a box and utilize it accordingly when it's necessary, right? But if you use it in a sporadic manner, emotional manner, it's dangerous. Weak men are dangerous to this world. Very dangerous.
What is your definition of a weak man?
Someone who cannot control his impulses, big one for me. Someone that cheats on his partner. I was that man. I'm not afraid to say that. I was a cheater a few years ago. But I was a cheater because I didn't understand who I was as a man. Right? And most men cheat and most men fall into the temptation of the devil because they don't really know who they are. They don't know what they stand for. Right? So one of the biggest things that you can do as a man is understand your values. Now, let me explain. Now, people say, oh, loyalty, respect, blah, blah, blah. Very surface level shit. I'm going to explain how my values work. I value 5 things. Faith, number 1. 2nd, health. 3, money, financials. 4th, respect. 5th, integrity. Right? Now, people will argue, oh, do this, that. Well, that's your situation, buddy. I don't give a shit about you. I'm talking about me. Right? The first one to me is like, how do I access because my values give me daily fulfillment. All right, people need to understand this. Everything that we do in life is to feel good. And this is what we we're talking about before downstairs. Is The Rock would say like, wake up every day at 4:30 a.m. blah blah. Him doing the action of telling people wake up at 4:30 a.m. gives him fulfillment, gives him a sense of self-reassurance that he's doing the right thing because he's helping people. That's his value. But it does not mean that you should do the same because maybe you don't value that.
True.
Does that make sense?
True. I can't stop laughing about that.
Yeah.
So it's so true. Okay, maybe
It's true.
The Rock as a bad example because the Rock actually does these things.
Correct.
And that's what he does.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about a lot of your favorite influencers telling you to wake up at 4:30, do all of this. They're not doing that.
Just
it's
nonsense,
all
right?
marketing.
So I access my faith every day by praying. Fulfillment. I access my health by working out first thing in the morning. I access my financials by making money every day, every week, right? I access integrity, right? By communicating and following through with what I said that I would do. And I access respect in many different ways throughout my whole life, like talking to people, appreciating them, having a nice and healthy conversations. To me, that's really clear. That gives me fulfillment.
Nice.
I don't need outside source. I don't need women. I don't need outside validation. All the validation that I have as a man comes from me and comes from within.
Nice. So that was faith, health, money, respect, and integrity.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So now talk to us about 700 people in 2 weeks.
Dude, that's insane. I didn't even expect that, dude.
How? How did you do that? For the audience, how'd you do that?
I saw it on my brain first. It sounds so cliche, but like I was coming to Dubai and my flight got cancelled. And, the day in the morning before my flight, I went to Balenciaga. And then I was talking to one of the managers at Balenciaga, and he's like, yeah, like this guy on the north in Sydney, he started this group with all these rich people, and, they go for runs every Saturday, they have coffee. And then I'm like, wait, hold up. So this kid, like he arrived in Australia, he didn't know anyone. He started a running club, and he's got all these rich people running with him, and now he's got a club. He's like, yeah, about 2,000 people.
Whoa.
And light bulb. I was like, I should do that in Dubai. And he looked at me, he's like, yeah, you should do it in Dubai. I was like, cool. I arrived in Dubai. Second day, I was walking with my buddy Adam, and then I took a video of the marina, and I did a simple post. I'm like, doing an event in Dubai, blah, blah. And then I looked at him, I'm like, I'm going to run an ad. Through the ad, and then people just attending. And, I run paid ads. So then people would see the ad, it resonated with them. I had no group, I had nothing. And then I thought, I'm going to create a broadcast channel on Instagram. I'm going to drive all the traffic there. Then I'm going to send an application, and people will come, and the event's going to be great. I was a little bit scared the first one. I'm like, I don't know if people will show up. But the first one, I only had about 32 people. The next one, 73. And then the last one, 100 people. And this is people that I don't know, but they know me. So this is what I talk about leverage, right? I go into these rooms, and everyone's like, I sent you a message on Instagram. I've seen you this, I've done that. And I'm like, what? I've never seen you before. There is so much power in being able to build a community that's genuine when you're actually giving value. So for us, for example, people in Dubai, and this is the other reason why I did it, is everyone in Dubai would charge 15K a pop, 10K to do a mastermind. I'm like, dude, I'll do it every week for free. And because I have such a big network, I'm just going to ask my buddies. They all love public speaking. It's free publicity. They can take content out of it.
Of course.
Come and talk. Great. They come and talk.
Awesome.
And people ask questions.
So how important are ads for a business?
Everything. I only understood this year, to be honest. I've been fucking around a lot with organic marketing, and it's been good. It's a lot of profit, but it's not predictable. And paid traffic gives you predictability, right? And the other thing is like out of sight, out of mind. Instagram, all these social media platforms, they want you to be spending money with them. That's their business. That's how they make money.
Of course.
Right? So if you're only relying on organic marketing, then you're limiting yourself to what could happen. But the reason why most paid traffic sources don't work is because people don't look credible on the internet, right? They have bad content. They have a bad bio. They don't have enough followers. They're not verified. They have PR articles. They're not on TV. They're not on podcasts. These are all components that help you convert traffic. PR is not going to get you leads. PR in general, right, will help you convert traffic. You can get all the book calls if you want, dude. Get 100 book calls. But if you're only closing 2 people out of 100, then you've got a conversion problem.
So would you say it's important to have that kind of social audience to be verified, to have publications,
Yeah.
to have all of
Yeah.
this first,
Yeah.
so that you've kind of got I guess your brand is out there,
Yeah.
and that's when you go for paid ads, because then
Yeah.
it shows the credibility.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let's say you go to a car dealership and you want to buy a yellow Lamborghini, right? There's one that has a yellow Lamborghini and it's a normal car dealership. It looks stock standard versus Lamborghini. What's going to happen when you walk into that normal dealership? You tell me. What sort of service are you going to receive?
If I'm going to buy the Lamborghini,
Yeah.
just a normal, hi, what are you looking for? I'm after this car.
Yeah.
The general.
How about if you go into Lamborghini though?
Oh, they'll treat me like a king.
Yeah. What would
Yeah.
they say when they open the door? Would they offer you coffee?
Oh, of course, I'm gonna get the one in the nice Lamborghini little mug.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, that's the one I'm gonna get, and it's gonna taste to my specific standard of coffee as well.
Right.
It's gonna be very good. They're gonna sit me down. They're gonna speak to me about me.
Yeah.
Why? Also, they're gonna ask me, why do I want to drive a Lamborghini?
That's right.
Why do I deserve a Lamborghini?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that level of service as well. Right?
That's PR. It's the difference between a yes or a no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, you don't know the dealership. You're going to buy a car, and then you go to Lamborghini itself, and the way they treat you is totally
Status.
different.
Status is credibility, is trust.
Okay,
It's that first, like you don't get a second chance, that first impressions.
true. So then, if let's say now you've got the brand, you're out there, you've got a couple of articles about you, you've been on a few podcasts, you've got a bit of a following. Now, if you're someone that has a business or starting in business, and now they're trying to build all of that, how much now would you spend on ads? Because the myth and the assumption is that you got to spend thousands and thousands and thousands on ads to get any sort of conversion. What
Well,
would you say to that?
It really depends. So if you have a limited budget, what I would do is like grab your best performing piece of content and just run it for like $5 a day. And we're looking at top of funnel strategy. If people don't know what top of funnel strategy is, it's just like getting people to know who you are, right? So you can literally run a reach campaign where people can just view your content, view it over and over. Let's say you throw 10 pieces of content on Instagram and they keep watching the same content. They keep watching it, they keep watching it, right? Then on the middle of the funnel, that's $5 a day, right? Then on the middle of the funnel, you can run one for $1 where you go, hey, like if you're this person and you watch my content and you want to do this, then send me the word X and I'll help you with this. So you're converting them on the funnel. That's if you have a limited budget, right? But the way that I like to do it, I like to do everything that no one else is doing. So if somebody's telling you run a direct DM campaign, I don't do that. I'll probably run it to my profile and have my profile optimized so then people message me based on what I have on my bio and based on the content that I have.
So you're driving traffic to your Instagram page,
Yeah.
and your Instagram page is going to sell for you.
Yeah, that's what sells for me.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And so would you say that that's been one of your biggest factors? What's the plan? So
That's
you've
that's how I grew the network.
Yeah.
That's how I grew it. People would look at me, they'll be like, oh, this is legit.
So they come to your Instagram page, they'll see you,
Yeah.
drop you a little follow. Oh, I like what he's
Yeah.
doing. Yeah,
Oh, they'll
networking
follow,
for entrepreneurs are fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to get involved.
Boom.
Slap that, and then I give you my email address, my name.
I gave them what they wanted. You understand that? See past the marketing. Everyone wants a community.
Oh, absolutely. And in a lonely place like Dubai, to find like-minded people is rare.
Yeah.
So you create
Yeah.
a platform where like-minded entrepreneurs, even people who are not but want to be entrepreneurs, that's your way of kind of getting in.
And I've positioned myself with key players that people sort of know as well. So it's like, well.
And then you're doing at these events, you're getting some of your friends to talk because it's publicity for them, and it's something that the audience can also take away as well.
And then guess what? They're also resharing everything on their social media.
Right. So all of a sudden, your brand.
I am the guy now.
Yes.
I've
So more
become the guy.
people-
I built this guy.
Yeah.
This guy did not exist. You can build and you can become the guy. This is what people don't get. Like, dude.
From nothing to something.
You can become someone from nothing. You just really have to want to do that.
I love it. Really?
Really?
From nothing
From
to
nothing
something.
to something, dude. You can become whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Right?
You just gotta want it.
I want it. That's it.
Simple as that, man. All right. I'm gonna leave it there. Any questions for me before we leave it there?
I like your tattoos, bro.
Yeah, tattoos. I've had tattoos for. You know, when I had tattoos when tattoos were associated with people that are in jail or bikers. So did you know that back in the day when I used to work for a retail company, they would ask me to put blue tape over my tattoos.
Really?
Yeah, blue
Wow.
tape, because it would scare. So customers would not come to me because I had tattoos. I'd be
Wow.
associated like I was that. And remember, at the time, this was even during my music career, I was bald, piercings, and tattoos. So it looks like I'm part of like the
gang
Mexican
or
drug
something.
cartel.
Wow.
You know, that's what it looked like. So I'm not going to go near him. So that's why people always had an association that I was involved in drugs of some sort. I really wasn't. You know, I'm the furthest away from that. You know, I like art, and I want to look how I want to look. Simple as that. So
I want to ask you, why did you quit your music career? Because this is something that you and I spoke about at coffee last week.
yeah. So
Because you're doing pretty good. You did even a single with Chris
yeah.
Brown.
So
Open Road. I love that song.
great song. So yeah, the thing is, so I loved the music, hated the business, and it got to a stage where I'm a very self-aware man, and I know that I was getting older. So now we were in preparation to release my second album. We were locked away for about 6 weeks in a recording studio. Some great artists were going to be featured on there. A lot of well-known artists as well. We were ready to rock and roll. We had created the first single, second single, third single. Everything was good. Got to all the photo shoots. Everything was prepared. And then I was saying, all right, good. Are we ready? It's not your time, Priyesh. Are we ready? It's not your time. And I'm trying to say, guys, my fans are also getting older. Their taste in music is going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got people like Chris Brown and everyone there now taking everyone. Yeah. I've got a window. We got to go for it. And I was hot topic at the time, right? I was like, we got to go for it. And they was like, it's not your time. It's not your time. It's not your time.
Limiting your own fucking... I hate that.
And
I hate when people limit beliefs.
because they control you.
Yeah.
No matter what people say, they control you.
Yeah.
And so
this is what you were telling me, like Chris Brown as well. All these guys are controlled.
yeah, they don't. A lot of them don't make their own decisions and a lot of stuff. And then so I just, that's where you could see that everything was starting to fall apart. And the way I saw it was that I fully expected my album and my singles to do very well. That not only was I going to eat, everyone worked with me was going to eat. I was going to look after everyone. Everyone was going to do well. I was going to pay everyone. It was going to be amazing. And then the more and more I was trying to go back and forth with the company and the label and everybody, like, guys, we've got to release. I said, no, it's not your time. No, it's not your time. To the point where I had enough. And I walked away. And there was a specific moment where I had Virgin, who had Professor Green at the time, had come to buy the single by Average Londoner, which was a single. And I knew it would get to number one if Professor Green were to go onto it. And but it was my song. I wrote the song. I didn't want to give the song to anyone, right? And then so I forced that whole saga to not happen. Then I had another record label from Japan that came to buy the single and only give me songwriting credits. In hindsight, I probably would have made a lot of money from songwriting, but I was young, I was naive. I was like, no, I wrote the song, so I want to release a single as me, Strikey. I want to release a song. So that deal didn't happen as well. And that was it. Our relationship between me and the higher up people were falling apart. And then I had made the conscious decision, spoken to my mom, and I said, I'm done. I'm leaving. I don't want to live. I don't want to live like this. I have no say in anything. I can't do anything. I'm told to go to photo shoots, told to go to featuring music videos. I'm told to do all of this. I don't want to live like this. And then so I just made a conscious decision just to stop. You know.
You knew your worth.
I knew my worth. I knew my worth, and I was like, I'm not doing this. Yeah, I'm not going to live like this. And for a lot of people, they like that. They like that sort of attention and that type of stuff. Listen, I don't need a music career to get attention. Yeah, I know me. I know Priyesh, my aura, my worth. Yeah, that gets attention. You know. And then so what comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. But me as a person, that's what gets attention. I don't need you to get me attention. I will get attention myself. So I left.
And look at you now.
Look at me now.
Look at me now. Look at me now.
Look at me now. Brother, thank you so much for coming on here.
I appreciate it, man. It's been fun. I enjoyed talking to you. I think we have a lot of similar beliefs. I think
We do.
more people need to hear these type of conversations.
Absolutely. I wanted to, for such a long time, just speak to people, to show people and the audience another side to me and the people that I know as well.
Yeah.
Right, because there's so much more to life than just trading or money, etc., etc. And so I wanted to really give people a different side to me, and so that's why having these type of conversations brings people into a whole new world about an individual, and also different interesting talking points.
They need to know the truth. Here's the thing: it's not easy. Success, winning, doing big things is not easy, but it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Nothing good and nothing worth having in your life will be easy at all. No matter how good the front end marketing. This is what I'm saying. Like, the consumers from today are very savvy, they're very smart, and I predict that the consumer for the next 5-10 years, they will be able to see past the bullshit, and they will only buy things based on their own self-worth and belief, not on your marketing promises.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's the way they always should have been.
Times are changing.
Yeah.
Times are changing. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming on here. Very
Anytime,
much an
dude.
enjoyable conversation. Hope you guys like that as well. Again, do the usual. Hit that like, hit the subscribe button, and then join me again for another episode of Memoir of a Podcast. Memoirs of a Podcast.
Yeah,
Memoirs of
I
a
don't know.
Trader podcast. MOAT. Memoirs of a Trader. I'm even saying it wrong now. Yeah, but anyway, guys.
About your own podcast.
But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please leave your comments. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you live in Dubai, you want to come to a social event, then you need to hit up my man. You need to hit my man. You need to come to it. And then for those of you who are entrepreneurs, just in general, and you need some PR, you need some good work, you need to get out there, you need to build your brand, then again, reach out to Jules, and
Appreciate
he'll be more than happy to help you. All right, guys, well, take care. Oh, no, I'm going to write it anyway. I'm going to write it on the right. Don't worry about that social media.
We'll run it up like
stuff,
that.
bro. Don't worry about that, man. Take care, guys. See you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye.
That was fun, bro.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.